Today's episode, my guest is Christie Clark, Marketing Director of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Florida Properties Group. She shares her AI journey from brainstorming content to rolling out a campaign in a box for 800 plus agents at our company. We tackle AI literacy challenges, hands-on training tactics, and the role of strategic thinking in every tool she uses. Tune in. Are you a real estate agent eager to unlock the power of AI to boost your productivity and scale your business? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to Real Estate AI Flash, the weekly podcast that takes AI from a buzzword to a business tool, making it approachable and actionable for agents like you. I'm your host, Rajeev Sajja, and each week I interview agents from across the country who are using AI to transform their careers. Join us on this journey to become an AI skilled agent and take your real estate career to the next level. Now let's get to this episode. Welcome to another episode of Real Estate AI Flash. And today my guest, usually we have agents on the podcast. Today my guest is Christie Clark, Marketing Director of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Florida Properties Group, and that's leading marketing strategy for 800 plus agents across Tampa Bay. She is a 2025 Inman Future Leader and 2024 Housing Wire Marketing Leader. Christy blends her graphic design and has roots, passion for innovation, which is an amazing combination. She's a Florida State alum and a big believer in using creativity and technology to move the industry forward. Welcome to the podcast, Christy.
Hey there, Rajeev. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, it was exciting. Usually we have agents in the podcast, and sometimes we need to bring some industry thought leaders, marketers that are obviously leveraging AI for their own roles. So I thought you'd be a great fit for the podcast. So before we begin, I gave you like a elevator pitch introduction for a storied career that's still in the works. So could you talk me through how did you get into real estate and got to the role that you're in today?
Sure thing. So just like with any job, I feel like it's all about who you know. And long story short, we had moved from the panhandle of Florida down into the Tampa Bay area for my husband's job. And long story short, a woman I used to work with at the publishing company, her father was an agent with the real estate company, and she knew they were searching for a role and happened to know I was moving. So I started out in just the general marketing department in 2017, and I've been there ever since, and now the marketing director for the past 3 years.
Nice. And we all real estate is one of those industries where it's like Hotel California. Once you're in there, you check out, but you never leave, right?
Correct.
You just stay for a long time. And you obviously are doing some great work. So ChatGPT has been around for a couple of years now. It almost seems like a decade in AI, right? Or technology, normal technology. So what was your first true light bulb moment, Christy?
Honestly, you bringing AI to us at our marketing forum and just, sparking that little, it's like a little ignite of fuel to the fire. And my first aha moment, it's going to sound so mundane, but just like I can use it to help brainstorm and when it comes to content of all varieties.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of us that, I still feel we're early in that journey for AI in general. And all of us are in different stages of the AI learning curve, but it has absolutely transformed how you think about work in general and collaborating. And most of us started using AI, to your point, about just sort of as an assistant mindset initially. But the sooner you move to a strategic thinker, collaborator, partner mindset, like your second brain. Mm-hmm. We recently had an episode with Juan Murray. Says, how are agents using AI as their second brain? Using it as your only brain is a problem. That's a whole other topic, whole other podcast, right?
Yes.
I don't know if you got a wind of that MIT study recently that came out. I'll send you the link if you didn't see it.
Yeah, no, send me a link for sure.
It was in the newsletter this morning, or a few weeks ago, I should say, that says people that are using ChatGPT, not with a critical thinking, their cognitive abilities, and just sort of almost outsourcing their thinking, have lost brain power more than people that are not.
I think I actually did see a glimpse of that.
I'll send you a link.
But I definitely want to read into it.
It was not an issue with AI. It was an issue with how people were leveraging AI without applying their own brain power, right? So let's kind of dig in a little bit. I mean, you come with a very unique perspective. And the reason I wanted to have you on the podcast was not just being a stellar marketer in your role, but also you support 800 plus agents at your company. So you're wearing sort of two hats. How do I become efficient in my job, leveraging AI? How do I empower the agents I support to leverage AI to become more productive in what they do? So let's kind of dig into your role as a marketer and then sort of agent-facing stuff. Start where you want to start.
For sure. So like as a marketer, how do I become more AI forward? It's really it's practice what we preach, where I'm listening, I'm learning, I'm reading, I'm doing. One thing I haven't done yet and I need to is to create my own GPT, because I think that's going to take me to that next level. And I'm still trying to refine what processes I do that could then help me be that second brain that I need, because we are a small but mighty marketing team. We've got 4 people in total, focusing on our whole company marketing as well as agent specific marketing. And of course, we have our core ancillary services in there too. So everything from blogs to newsletters to social to planning to physical collateral or digital collateral, videos, like everything, recruiting, retention, it's everything all in one. And that's just the company side and the brand overall. And then we've got the agent side, which is like social planning, content calendars, automated task lists that help our agents from the company side. It's I know I just spoke in a big old circle, but we're really trying to lean into how our processes can be automated to then better serve our agents, but also serve ourselves, so that way we can be the best people we need to be.
Yeah, no, great points. And we'll dig into some of those things that you mentioned, obviously. But, when I started using ChatGPT, I don't know if this is you, and you mentioned GPT, so I want to kind of just double down a little bit on that. We all start with, every time we go into ChatGPT, we start a new chat. That seems to be the daily exercise that we go through, and nothing wrong with starting a new chat. But the more you can build specialized chats that do specialized work, which is where custom GPTs are, and we've done enough episodes on it. I'm sure we'll do more around it. But I think the more you can refine and perfect your prompt frameworks, then you'll be able to build custom GPTs that are any good.
Yes.
Right. So I think that's the next evolution. I feel like new chat, custom chat, AI agents are like the 3 big steps people take. And so let's talk a little bit about when you and I were chatting the other day, you talked about how obviously using it for brainstorming. You're also using it for copywriting, and you mentioned Jasper. So talk through a little bit about the tools you use and how you sort of go back and forth between them.
For sure. So internally, obviously paid subscriber to ChatGPT. And then we also, on our marketing team, were early adopters to, it was called Jarvis at first, but now it's Jasper.ai. And we really like to use that tool. ChatGPT is more of like the ideation and refining our outline or whatever the case may be. And then we take it into Jasper to really hone in on our brand voice. We have it really built out in there. And we have just our different personas too, of our president of our company. We've got her voice in there. We've got our own company voice in there. We have like a recruiting voice versus a retention voice. So Jasper just, when it comes especially to Google searching, it does a better job at sounding more human than ChatGPT can. So we just like to go in there and give copy a better refinement in there, but obviously still with our human touch and reading it and making sure it does sound like us.
Yeah. And since you've been using Jasper, I mean, this is not news to you, but Jasper's been around even pre-ChatGPT. That was one of the first things that I sort of gravitated to prior to November 2022. But what I think happened in November 2022 is that the world got access to ChatGPT, and everybody sort of became a marketer, content writer, and things of that nature. But Jasper focuses on copywriting, and really elevating that. So there's going to be, over time, I don't think one AI tool will fill the need for all things we need to do. But I think ChatGPT is a great place to start to enhance your AI skills, right?
I agree. And I think it's kind of like that with any industry, like us being in real estate, and especially as marketers and everything in between, we deal with, the influx of all the tools and resources and vendors we can use. They all may not do, they some may do the same thing, some may not, but they all kind of fill a void in some weird way. They fit into like this Tetris that we need for a tech stack.
Yeah, for sure. And some of the tools like I use, since we're on a podcast here, I use Opus Pro every week for clipping videos from long form to short form. Now, ChatGPT can't do that, right? So there's certain tools I go to that become part of my AI tech stack that are go-to tools all the time that are non-ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But I think everybody could start with ChatGPT with a variety of things. And now with image creation, it is fascinating what images you can create.
I know, like I follow you in your Instagram pod. Like I don't know what that little channel. Need to get with the times there, but I love seeing the image prompts that you provide us. But I'd say one image source I use, which is kind of cool, is Photoshop. Like, oh, yeah? I'm an Adobe user. I use all the Adobe platforms because graphic designer by nature, and I'm always using their different AI tools in there. You may not notice them as AI, but it is.
Yeah. And I think what we're also finding, to your point, is AI is coming a lot closer to us in the tools we're already using pre-AI. Right? To your point, Adobe has AI. The CRM we use has a little bit of AI.
Yep.
Right? So browsers, the other day I discovered a browser. I think it's GenSpark. We'll put a link to in the show notes. It is a true AI browser from the ground up.
Really?
So as an example, you could go to Best Buy and you're looking for a Apple Mac computer. It'll pop up in the middle of the browser and say, do you want to look for the best deal for this? And it just stays in the browser and just scours the web and pulls up the browser. So there's a lot of, so that's one. The one I really enjoyed was I was watching a YouTube video on GenSpark. And this is just a trend I think we'll start to see where AI coming closer to us in the things we use. It has an ability to, if you click a button, it converts the YouTube video into slides, presentation slides. Just click a button and boom, done. So there's some things that converting content from one form to a different form without having to sort of take the transcript and then kind of use Gamma or other tools that we use. So that was my first experience of a AI ground up browser.
That's really
and you
cool.
can use a GenSpark. Yeah, you can. I believe it's even downloadable on a Mac. But I think that's an early window into the point you're making. You use Adobe anyway. AI is built into Adobe. They're going to do more with it. So your tech stack has to augment things you're already using. It's not like you're giving up anything. And I don't think ChatGPT, as good as its image creation model is, it's going to replace true designers doing some really in-depth work. But all the images I create are from ChatGPT for the most part. But I'm not creating massive, like really brand images in a way. It's really framework images and stuff like that. So it's a good place to start, but I don't think you'll end up there all the time.
Correct. Right.
Yeah. So what else? How about training your agents? I mean, you have a large agent community that you support. How are you empowering them with the skills? Obviously, they don't use tools like Jasper. They're probably more ChatGPT focused and some of the consumer tools. So talk to me about agent education, things you've done for them that are beneficial for our listening audience.
For sure. So our director of digital strategies, her name's Stephanie, and she is fantastic and fabulous. And she built out a complete microsite for our agents to use and reference. And it has, it talks about prompting it well with RISE and the 4 Ps and then diving into, here's some copy and paste prompts that we know that they would use a lot, like listing descriptions and a personalized bio that isn't so stuffy and boring, but like fits their own genuine brand voice. So we have that for them. We have had several hands-on in-person instructional courses with Stephanie leading that helm. And we've also had kind of seminars like our CEO Mastery Workshop that we host annually. We've had the Speculo group come through, speculo.ai come through, and Stephanie is also presented on all of her knowledge. So that's how we're like leveraging it there. Is that enough? No. We can totally take it to another level, and we will be doing that over the next, 6 to 12 months. It'll definitely be in our planning stages. And of course, we've got stuff like we were talking before incorporated to our tech stack. So between Maxa and Bold Trail, like they have like AI features within them that are helping make the agent's life easier.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the biggest challenge agents face, as well as companies that we work at, and the industry at large faces, is AI literacy.
Yes.
I mean, truly giving them a path towards getting skilled with AI, not just to be skilled, but to get productivity enhancements for their business. And I read a recent report from the Marketing AI Institute that said 60% plus companies are not doing enough in teaching people, employees, AI literacy. They just purchase the tool and assume they can know how to use it, right? And so I think things you're doing are going to be very valuable. And our audience knows that I host every bi-weekly AI mastermind that started March 6th. You can find the recordings on our podcast website, realestateaiflash.com. We're on session 9 coming up on here in July, early July. So we're in the thick of the program, and every session is about hands-on stuff and a little homework assignment before the next session. I think the more we do, and it's open to anybody that wants to watch it, they can catch up on the recordings. It's brand agnostic. So the more each of our companies do stuff like that, I think agents will start to get up to speed, and providing prompts like you mentioned are all great ideas for agents to get up to speed. So what else is going on, Christy? What else are you working on that you're excited about that relate to AI?
Related to AI, I guess like a project we've been working on is really providing a true plug and play. We're calling it our campaign in a box.
Yeah.
And what that really entails is providing a prospecting focused digital campaign that incorporates into their agent website, and it has all the pieces to it, like a social campaign. Here's your organic versus your paid, and here's how you can reach out, door knock, mailers, postcards, etc. And of course, we're using AI to help formulate all that, because as a 4-person team, there's only so much you can do in your day. So really been leveraging ChatGPT and Jasper with that ideation. But of course, like it's going to take woman power, because we've got women on our team with manpower. But we're just we're building that out right now for our agents. So we're really excited about that. And that's a big thing right now. We have a monthly marketing drop that we do that we of course utilize AI, and I utilize Perplexity a lot with that to do some initial research, because we really want it to be statistical and data driven. So we use that as a main research focus point to make sure that the links are credible, and provide those to the agents as well. But we get some really heavy lifting done. I think you've said it several times, like you can compound your time, you can compress it and get more done in a day, which is definitely helpful when you've got a very ambitious project list like we typically do. Yeah,
no, that sounds like amazing work you're putting together. I think there's 2 areas that I feel like if you master AI, and AI mastery is not an overnight thing, it's a journey.
Oh, for sure. I think you've shown that for sure.
Oh, I'm still on everybody's on our own journey. It's like time zones, right? Mm-hmm. Just because they're on the West Coast doesn't mean they're 3 hours behind. They're just on their own zone.
Yes.
Right? So I think to me, there's like 2 journeys that we follow. One is the journey of compressing time that you mentioned. Mm-hmm. And then the other stuff is you would never be able to do more with your time if you didn't have AI.
Yeah.
Right? And another way to look at this is like the quality of your output should be noticeably better with AI, because it's 2 brains versus 1.
Yes.
And then the other piece to me is you're able to now do more with the resources you have.
Agreed.
Than you ever could. Right? So I think there's a lot of multiplication there. And it doesn't mean just because you save time, you reinvest time. Again, like agents, I was on a webinar this morning talking to a few agents, and I said, when you save time, take that same time and invest it in client relationships. Mm-hmm. right? So you can become memorable with your clients. And so everybody's role is a little different because we all have 24 hours, right? So I think weaving it in appropriate aspects, I think really brings the best out of who we are and what we offer our people around us. That's
I
great,
agree with
great,
that.
great stuff. Marketing in a box. I like it. Everybody likes in a box because it seems easy.
Very influenced by Saturday Night Live and Justin
There it is.
Timberlake and Andy Samberg. So
nice. All right. So, I like to ask my guests 2 questions as we sort of wind down the pod. Anything else you want to share about AI? Any other?
No, I'm just excited to dig more into it. Been listening to some, like obviously your podcast and some others. And one cool thing I heard of was Suno. Like, I didn't realize you can make your own music.
Christy,
I can't stand going through and listening to clips.
I know. This should not shock you, but so every keynote I do now, like the last 6-7 months, including my mastermind, I will text you my mastermind Suno song.
Oh my goodness, please do.
So I built a specific song for every event I go to that I speak at, and it's their song, and it is crazy what you can create with Suno, for sure.
So
I'll give you a fun idea you should try next time. Personal.
Okay.
So where this all started for me was on Valentine's Day, this past Valentine's Day. That Friday afternoon, it was a Friday, Feb 14th, the Eagles parade. They won the Super Bowl. That's the day of the parade. Mm-hmm. I was saying, I got to do something different for my wife. And I got the idea of Suno in some chat that I was on with some community somewhere. I said, let me go try. So I built a Valentine's Day song for my wife. I gave it all the, we met, years, kids, all that like fun stuff.
Yeah.
Personal stuff. And she said it was the best thoughtful gift I've ever given her in the 30 years of marriage. Which is, and I've spent a lot of money in other Valentine's Days, but this was like just a thought. And I could start to finish with 5 minutes, which is crazy.
That is crazy. That's a long time.
Well, it took me, so you go to ChatGPT or Gemini, whatever you do, and say, I'm going to write a Valentine's Day song. I need a script. You give it all the details. It'll give it to you. Take that, paste it into Suno, pick the genre. Voila, the song is ready. So I will send you a couple of songs now that you've discovered Suno to inspire you to maybe do something fun for either at work or whatever, Yeah. So cool. That's awesome. So the first question I have is, you've been in the industry how long now?
8 years.
Wow. So, and mostly marketing primarily?
Primarily.
Yeah. So if you were starting your career today as a marketer, or an agent, because everybody's a marketer at some level.
Yeah.
Right? What would be the one piece of advice you'd give your younger self, Christy?
I guess focus on what's going to move the needle. Don't sit in the minutia of just the noise. Get to the point that's going to move the needle. And I know that's really vague, but I have acquired this skill, I feel like, that I know what will move the needle and what is just busy work.
Yeah. I was at a 1,000-watt brand and marketing summit in Dallas earlier in the year. And their theme was find the signal in the noise.
I like that.
Right. And then it became so popular, that whole event, the concept of signal noise, they call the event going forward the signal. They named the event the signal. And in AI, I did a little keynote there, and I started by talking about, to your point, in AI, every day there's new signal. I mean, there's probably noise, but I told them you got to find your own signal within a sea of signal. You got to move your own, to your point, what moves the needle. So that's a great takeaway, because you could get drowned and be busy and not be productive, right? And feel like you accomplished something. So that's a great takeaway. So I don't know if you're a book or a podcast person, Christy.
It depends on the genre.
Okay, fair enough. So is there a book or a podcast that has deeply influenced you more than others that you've heard or read?
I'm going to sound like a broken record because I heard you talk about this book, but I listened to Unreasonable Hospitality, and that I was blown away by that book. I could incorporate lessons from that book in my life as a wife and a mom, to a friend, to a marketing director, to just a freelancer, like everything. I think anyone can grab any lesson from that book and really hit home with it.
That's awesome. Great recommendation. And I don't know if a guest has said that book, but it was one of my favorite books that I read not too long ago. So is there a podcast that and you're not supposed to mention this podcast. This is off the record.
I won't mention your podcast.
Yeah. Is there a podcast, and it doesn't have to be professional, it could be personal, that keeps you really invigorated, whatever it is. Is there a podcast that you the go-to podcast for you?
I like to listen to the Marketing Millennials.
Oh, I think I may have heard that, but who's the host?
Oh, I'll have to look it up.
But I'm sure we'll put a link to the podcast in the show notes so you can check it out.
Yeah, his name.
Give me a theme
on Murray. Daniel Murray, the Marketing Millennials. Like I don't know.
Yes. So I've heard this podcast because this one, the Daniel Murray, and then the other guy is also a Dan.
Yeah.
ST.
Dan Sanchez is another guy I listen to. But
I listen to that guy
podcast.
Too. Good. Yeah. Those are good suggestions. I know. I mean, I think we learn. Sometimes it's good to go outside our industry to get ideas for the industry.
Yes.
And there's so many very good podcasts. So this has been fun, Christy. Thank you so much for taking the time away. I know we say you service a company in Tampa Bay, but you may be somewhere else.
Yes.
We will not disclose Christy's location.
It's very secret.
There you go. Exactly. That's what happens in the podcast stays in the podcast. But appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Oh, same, Rajeev. Thanks so much.
You made it to the end. Nice. My goal with this podcast is to elevate your AI skills every week. If you found value in the show, your goal is to follow, share with a fellow agent, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and leave us a review, as it helps us reach more agents like you.